Everyone gathered here, everyone behind you, everybody watching on TV, and all those people up in that grandstand are your family, and we've got you.
On Thursday, May 21, 2026, the world of motorsport was shaken to its core. Kyle Busch, a two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, the all-time wins leader across NASCAR's top 3 series, and one of the most dominant drivers in the history of the sport, was dead at 41 years old. His family released a statement 2 days later that answered the question millions were asking. The medical evaluation provided to the Busch family concluded that severe pneumonia progressed into sepsis, resulting in rapid and overwhelming associated complications. What makes this story so alarming is not just the loss of a generational talent, it is how fast it all happened and how it started with something as ordinary as a sinus cold. Kyle Busch began his NASCAR Cup Series career in 2004. Over 22 seasons, he made 762 career starts and collected 63 Cup Series victories. He won the championship in 2015 and again in 2019. Across NASCAR's top 3 series, he won 234 races, total 102 in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and 69 in the Craftsman Truck Series, more than any driver in the history of the sport. He was preparing to race in the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway when he died. He is survived by his wife Samantha, his 11-year-old son Brexton, and his 4-year-old daughter Lennox. He was the younger brother of NASCAR Hall of Famer Kurt Busch. NASCAR CEO Steve O'Donnell described him simply, "Kyle Busch, to me, is an American badass." The timeline of Kyle Busch's final days reveals a progression that moved with terrifying speed. On May 10 at Watkins Glen International, Busch was visibly struggling. During the broadcast, it was reported that he was dealing with a sinus cold made worse by the intense G-forces and elevation changes at the course. After the race, he radioed his team directly, requesting that a doctor be ready at his bus because he was going to need a shot. Doctors reflecting on this moment now call it an early warning that went unaddressed. 5 days later, on May 15, Busch won the Truck Series race at Dover, his 234th career victory, coming just 6 days before his death. Fellow driver Brad Keselowski acknowledged he knew Busch had been unwell, but the Dover win quieted those concerns. But then when he ran the Trucks race last week, those thoughts were honestly kind of erased in my mind, Keselowski said. On May 18, Busch finished 17th in the NASCAR All-Star race. He was still competing at the top level of the sport. Then came Wednesday, May 20. Busch was testing in a Chevrolet racing simulator in Concord, North Carolina, preparing for that Sunday's Coca-Cola 600 when he became unresponsive. A 911 call obtained by multiple news outlets captured the moment. An unidentified caller told dispatch, "I've got an individual that's got shortness of breath, very hot, thinks he's going to pass out, and is producing a little bit of blood, coughing up some blood." Busch was found on the bathroom floor inside the facility, awake but deteriorating. He was transported to a hospital in Charlotte. The following day, Thursday, May 21, he died. To understand what killed Kyle Busch, you have to understand what pneumonia actually is and what it can become. Pneumonia is a respiratory infection that fills the lungs with fluid, making breathing difficult. It can be caused by bacteria, viruses, or fungi. Symptoms typically include cough, fever, chills, chest pain, and shortness of breath. Fox News senior medical analyst Dr. Mark Siegel confirmed the specific sequence in Busch's case. This upper respiratory sinus infection progressed to pneumonia. Bacterial pneumonia, Siegel noted, is normally more severe than viral pneumonia. Dr. Cedric Rutland, a triple board certified pulmonary and critical care physician and national spokesperson for the American Lung Association, offered a clear picture of what happens inside the body. Your lungs are a bunch of pipes that lead to a bunch of balloons all stacked on top of one another. If you have bacteria infect those lungs and you have your immune system in the area taking up space, you're a little bit short of breath, fatigued. Double pneumonia, when both lungs are infected, simultaneously compounds this problem significantly. According to the Cleveland Clinic, a double pneumonia case can range from relatively mild to catastrophic. According to the Mayo Clinic, when pneumonia takes hold in both lungs, the body's ability to deliver oxygen is severely compromised, and the window for treatment can close faster than expected. What happened next in Kyle Busch's case was the transition from a serious lung infection to a full-body medical emergency sepsis. Sepsis is considered a life-threatening medical emergency that occurs when the body has an extreme overactive response to an infection, causing the immune system to damage its own tissues and organs. Typically, the immune system releases chemicals to fight off pathogens like bacteria, viruses, or fungi. But with sepsis, the response goes into overdrive. The results can cause widespread inflammation, form microscopic blood clots, and make blood vessels leak. Dr. Siegel explained it this way: the body reacts to this severe lung infection by making inflammatory chemicals. It's the immune system revving up. But as with a lot of things with the body, the immune system can hurt more than help. As sepsis advances, blood pressure drops. Oxygen delivery to tissues is interrupted. This triggers lactic acidosis, a dangerous accumulation of lactic acid in the bloodstream. Then, organ failure begins. Dr. Siegel described the cascade precisely. The kidneys fail. Toxins from the kidneys build up. Blood pressure goes down. Fever goes up. The lungs fail something called ARDS. ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome, occurs when inflammation causes fluid to leak into the lungs, making it difficult for oxygen to reach the bloodstream. It can affect the heart, brain, kidneys, and blood vessels simultaneously. Sepsis can quickly lead to tissue damage, organ failure, and death if not treated right away. According to ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darren Sutton, nearly 2 million people are diagnosed with sepsis in the United States every year, and more than 300,000 die. Doctors emphasize that sepsis is a medical emergency because patients can deteriorate rapidly within hours. There is also a specific factor in Busch's case that doctors flag directly. Racing simulators are engineered to replicate the intense G-forces experienced on a real track. Dr. Siegel noted that the physical stress of simulator use could potentially aggravate already inflamed lungs during recovery from pneumonia. Add to that the environment of actual racetracks, rubber particles, auto exhaust, air pollution, and Dr. Rutland explained that all of those elements can create more of an inflammatory response, and you can have even more immune cells within that lung. Keselowski captured the cultural pressure that kept Busch competing through his illness. There's no shortage of drivers that would love to take my seat or anybody else's seat if we weren't feeling well, and I think every driver feels that pressure. All athletes do. It's not unique to NASCAR in that sense. We're all thinking to ourselves, I don't want to be replaced. So you try to power through it the best you can. Driver Chase Briscoe called Busch's death a wake-up call for the entire paddock. Common warning signs of sepsis can include confusion, rapid breathing, extreme weakness, low blood pressure, fast heart rate, and bluish or mottled skin, according to the CDC. Pneumonia escalating into an emergency shows specific signals: chest pain, coughing up blood, confusion, and the inability to speak in full sentences due to shortness of breath. Those at higher risk for severe pneumonia and sepsis include older adults and smokers, as well as those with chronic lung disease, diabetes, weakened immune systems, or recent viral infections. Dr. Kenton Dover, a pulmonary and critical care physician at Unk Hospitals in Chapel Hill, stated plainly, the most important point is early recognition, making sure you're evaluated and get treatment early. Dr. Rutland echoed that, I am very, very hopeful that people can recognize these signs and symptoms a lot earlier than maybe he did here. Richard Childress Racing is temporarily retiring Busch's No. 8 until his son Brexton is old enough to race. All 39 cars in the Coca-Cola 600 field carried a small black No. 8 decal in his honor. Driver Ryan Blaney said of Kyle Busch, he was a polarizing figure that no matter if you like him or disliked him as a racer, he was always talked about. Kyle Busch won his last race, the Truck Series, at Dover on May 15, 2026. 6 days later, he was gone.